All right, guys, let's get ready for our word of the day. So remember, when we get ready for our word of the day, we need to bring out our writing journals and we need to get out our dictionary binders. And I wanted to touch base with a few of the words that we've learned this week. Earwig. We remember the earwig situation that we had on Monday, which was quite a sight when all those earwigs came running out of this plant that I brought in from outside. And Miss Miller's class was rubbernecking at us when they were wondering what the heck was going on in Mrs. Carvey's classroom. I don't blame them. I wanted to go with them. So if you guys will get your stuff ready, we will get started. All right. I found some very interesting articles in this newspaper today. The Western News. Now listen very carefully, because you guys are going to hear our word of the day in some of these articles. The Portland Press Herald reports that the analysis recently published in the New York Times rated Maine's anxiety level as the highest in the country. It looked at the rise of anxiety-related Google search rates over the past 8 years. Presque Isle manager Martin Puckett says the city's designation was surprising. But mental health experts say it's not uncommon for people in rural areas with a lower median income to deal with anxiety. The city has just over 9,500 residents and is a service center for the north part of A0C0 County, the state's center for potato farming. Federal data shows more than 20% of the residents live in poverty. Well, if you ask me, there's more anxiety living in a city than there is in a rural area. Let's see what's happening in sports this week. Oh, shortly before 11 p.m. on Friday, without a hint of ceremony, it happened. Greenville, this charming little city on the banks of Reedy River, became the epicenter of Duke hatred. The Blue Devils don't always help in this department, of course. During this year's NCAA tournament, they are the East Region's number 2 seed and a trendy pick to each yet another Final Four. They are the bluest of basketball blues bloods and an elite private university. I'm not much for sports. Oh, what's going on in the Daily Interleg? This is a Kalispell newspaper. Oh my. At first, Sarah Murphy didn't know what to make of the heavy queen-size log bed violently shaking in her cabin 3 miles south of Lincoln, and a shorter distance yet from the epicenter of a 5.8 magnitude earthquake that struck early in the morning. It was like 10 men were picking it up and shaking it, Murphy said. Murphy, a Great Falls resident, first thought the motion was caused by the wind. In the 10 to 20 seconds the earthquake hit, a lamp fell off the nightstand and next to Murphy's bed, and she soon fully realized what was happening. We were only 1.5 miles from the epicenter, she said. Your mind goes to the movies, like, is the whole entire world going to open up? She said. So a lot of you shared with me that you felt that earthquake that night. And even though I didn't feel it personally, I was awake. I was doing dishes at 12:30 at night. I heard a really loud boom. But my daughter, who was upstairs, heard that and felt that shake of that earthquake. And instantly we wondered, where did it come from? Where was the beginning point of that earthquake? Well, the epicenter, as you heard in all 3 of those articles, is the word that we are going to learn about today. It's the epicenter. The epicenter is where we locate it's the location of the point of where the earthquake happened. So an epicenter is a noun. So we know that a noun is a person, place, or a thing. Well, we know it's not a person. We know an epicenter isn't a person. And we know that an epicenter is not an animal or a place. But we do know that it's a thing. So the epicenter, if everybody would get out their word of the day worksheets, and we can all go over this together. The epicenter is the point on the Earth's surface directly above the earthquake. So the earthquake happens way down in the ground, but we call the epicenter the place at the surface of the ground. That's the epicenter. And in last week's earthquake, it happened to be in Lincoln, Montana. The center or focal point of an activity or event, especially something unpleasant. Now, you kids weren't there to remember, but you've heard about 9/11. And so the Twin Towers would be an epicenter for that terrorist attack. So that would be kind of a focal point of an activity, of unpleasant activity or event. So the etymology is a Latin or a Greek word. The word epi means upon, and the kentron, which is a needle pivot point for a drawing a circle, so the center. Okay? So I want everybody to take their word of the day worksheets, and I want you to put them into your binders. And remember, my rule is it has to be put in alphabetical order. Now remember, the word is epicenter. I want to hear this word throughout the day and throughout the week. I'm going to put our word up here on our word wall so you guys can refer to it. I'd like to see this word in your writing as well this week because we're doing that writing project. So the word is epicenter. Can we say it together, class? Listen, epicenter. Get ready, epicenter. Very good. All right, let's get started.